What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. Hope you guys are all doing good, staying safe out there. What we're talking about today is, in one of my videos I mentioned I used to drive a Nissan Altima, and a lot of things happened with that car from when I got in an accident in that car, but the biggest interesting story behind that was people were asking about, I had mentioned that I got a lot of negative equity on the vehicle. So I wanted to kind of tell you guys a story and also basically explain how that happened and how you can avoid letting that happen yourself. So, and before we get going, I want to encourage you guys, check out the retroactive referral code if you haven't yet. It's super easy. It takes like 2 minutes, 7-8 steps. You could have $1,000 in your account. And we've had people hitting these bonuses. So I'm not bluffing. Even the Rideshare Guy says that it's popping off right now. You guys really want to check that out if you haven't yet, because it's just fast, easy cash. So basically what happened was, when I first started driving Uber, I had bought a pretty nice Altima to do Uber with. Now originally I just needed a new car. I had been driving a Toyota RAV4. I had 300,000+ miles on it. No, I'm sorry. It was like 250. It wasn't 300 yet. I wanted to get it to 300, but it was just really crapping out on me. By the way, props to Toyota for making a vehicle made for endurance. But yeah, so I had this RAV4. I really needed to get rid of it. I mean, I was like, look, I'll take $20 and a freaking trinket for trade-in value for this thing at this point. So I traded in this RAV4, and I'm looking at this Nissan Altima. I really like it. Originally, I was looking at, they had like the Midnight Edition. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think it was big when like the Dark Knight came out. Because this was back in like 2015 or 16 that I bought that car. And so the most annoying thing about that process was I really wanted this Midnight Edition Altima, and I was ready to buy it, signing the paperwork. The manager comes out screaming, hooting, and hollering about how he can't sell it to me because the hood dimensions were off like 1/4 inch or just some like really weird thing. And I was like, oh no, it's okay, man, I'll take the car. Like, I didn't give a crap. Almost cussed there. I was just like, whatever, like that can't be that big of a deal, and I really like this car. And he was like, you don't understand, man, like I will literally get fired if I sell you this vehicle. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, like what a stupid policy. So long story short, I'll never go back to CarMax. So anyways, I buy this Altima. I know nothing about Uber and Lyft, but at the time I was working, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was working for some company. I can't even remember, but oh yeah, it was a development company. And I had just like quit working there, and so I started just like hammering out the hours on Uber and Lyft. Originally I started just doing like 20 or 30 a week because I really didn't know what I was doing. But then after like 2 weeks, I started going like 40 hours a week, and after like a month, I was cranking out like 60+ hour weeks. And a lot of times I would literally not work the entire week, and then I would work 3 15s, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I would end up putting in like a 45-hour work week in a weekend. I was just like crazy and young and stupid. So what happened was I just started putting a ton of miles in this vehicle. At the time, I was literally pretty much only driving Uber and Lyft, nothing else. And I was cranking out hours, especially the more comfortable I got with it. I started just working all the time. So I was putting in heavy hours, and basically after about a year and a half, I had already put like 70+ miles on it. And after about 2.5 years, my car was up to like 140 or 50,000 miles, and I bought it with 16,000 miles. So I'd put like 130+ miles on this vehicle in basically a matter of 2 years. It's a lot of driving. At the same time, after about 2 years, I started getting a ton of issues with the car. And it wasn't just like brakes and rotors or real obvious stuff. It was like I was having all kinds of check engine lights going on. Still drove fine, but there was just a lot of issues with it. Suspension was jacked. I'm trying to remember some of the other things. But so I took it to a mechanic. They quoted me, like multiple mechanics all quoted me at about $4,000 in repairs. And then the worst part was they said there was a little transmission code coming up on the computer. So I'm like, my God. So I just straight up asked one of them, I was like, what do I do? I was like, I still owe a lot of money on this car. I still owed about $7,000 on it. And I was like, but I've got all these repairs and this transmission light's gone. And he was like, you know, buddy, he's like, here's what's scary. He's like, you could put $4,000 of repairs into this and then the transmission goes out. And he's like, I know it sounds crazy, but he's like, I'd buy a new car. He's like, I'd get rid of this one. And I talked to another mechanic. He said the same exact thing. So I started just really thinking, I was like, that's probably what makes the most sense, because it would just be a huge risk to dump all that money into repairs just for the transmission to go out. So, yeah, so long story short, I basically started car shopping. I ended up getting a Nissan Sentra, which, those of you know, that has been a whole hassle and a half on that vehicle. The Nissan Sentra, I have a video on it, so I'm not going to really elaborate too much, but I'm in a lawsuit over that car with the dealership right now. And it's just, here's my biggest piece of advice to you guys from my story. So I have this car, this Jetta TDI, phenomenal vehicle. I love it. I bought it with about 100,000 miles on it, and I got it for about $3,000. I got a unthinkable deal on it. The reason why it was such a good deal, it has a brand new transmission, brand new air conditioner. It had just gotten over like $4,000 in repairs done on it. It's a turbo diesel, so obviously that's going to help the engine life long term. And everyone I've taken it to has told me I'll get at least 300,000 miles on it. They're like, these cars are some of the best cars. So I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, okay, I paid like $18K for the Altima. I paid like 20, well, the Sentra would have been about 18 as well, but I had to absorb all the negative equity from the Altima into that Sentra. So originally the Sentra was going to be like 18K off the dealership. My total loan was about 25 grand for a freaking Nissan Sentra. It was brand new. It was literally like a 2019, but still, a Sentra. And now I've got this Jetta, which I honestly think is a way more dope car than the Altima or the Sentra. And it's just performs super well. And this would have been an amazing car to rideshare with. It's got leather seats. It's got the giant freaking sunroof. It gets 40 plus miles per gallon. It's a hatchback, so it's got trunk space. So the biggest thing I would want you guys to get out of this is just, for one, never buy new. Now, I wouldn't have bought new anyways, but I was kind of forced to. Never buy new, but don't even buy like a CarMax car that's got like 15,000 miles on it. If you're gonna full-time drive Uber and Lyft, you should literally be recycling through $2,000 or $3,000 cars. That's it. You should not be paying anything more, because these cars, especially full-time, all that city driving is just so much wear and tear in a vehicle. It's one thing if you're doing all that on a highway, but when you're putting 130,000 miles on a vehicle in 2 years of primarily like city driving with a lot of braking, a lot of stopping, a lot of traffic, you're gonna tear up your car. All that being said, like, fortunately, I'm pretty much through all that mess. Like, I got all that negative equity paid off, and I don't see how I could possibly lose the lawsuit. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that one. I'm pretty much blame-free in this scenario. I just gotta wait it out, because that's what big companies do. Bleed you dry. All in all, like, I'm good. I figured it out. But, like, don't buy new. Don't even buy, like, a somewhat used expensive car. Buy a car with, like, 80,000 plus miles on it for Uber and Lyft, because that's just the only way it makes sense. So that's what I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that little story of my life. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, please check out the retroactive referral code. It is freaking phenomenal. And, yeah, I will talk to you guys soon.